The moment reality became programmable, it didn't happen with a warning. No alarm, no announcement, just a quiet shift where the world stopped behaving like something we only observed and started behaving like something we could change. To understand why this matters now, we need to return how reality was once understood. Nature followed laws. Humans discovered them, measured them, and adapted around them. We could influence outcomes, but only indirectly. Build tools, change environments, push but never rewrite. Reality was fixed. We were guests inside it. That assumption began to crack as science crossed a subtle threshold. Data grew dense enough to model systems completely. Computing power became sufficient to simulate outcomes before they occurred. Materials responded to instruction. Biology accepted edits. Information reshaped behavior at scale. For the first time, rules were no longer just discovered. They were designed. At first, this felt like optimization, making systems more efficient, predictable, controlled. Engineers adjusted parameters and watched reality respond. Chemical reactions tuned for precision. Biological processes guided toward desired outcomes. Physical systems shaped by code rather than chance. Then something deeper emerged. When systems became complex enough, changing their inputs changed not just results, but behavior itself. Reality adapted. Feedback loops formed. Environments responded dynamically to instructions embedded within them. This was no longer engineering in the traditional sense. It was authorship. Scientists were not only testing hypotheses, they were defining conditions under which reality behaved one way instead of another. The earliest signs appeared harmless. Simulations that matched the world too well. Systems that corrected themselves without intervention. Environments that adjusted in real time to goals set by algorithms. But beneath that success sat a realization few were prepared for. If reality can be programmed, then neutrality disappears. Every instruction becomes a choice. Every optimization embeds intent. And once the world begins responding to design rather than discovery, the question is no longer what is true. It becomes who decides how truth behaves. As reality became programmable, control shifted quietly from observation to intervention. Scientists no longer waited for nature to reveal outcomes. They shaped conditions so outcomes emerged by design. This transition unfolded across disciplines at once. In physics, experimental environments were tuned so particles behaved predictably. In biology, gene expression was guided with precision. In digital spaces, human behavior responded to incentives encoded in software. Reality did not resist. It complied. The power came from feedback. Systems monitored themselves, adjusted parameters, and refined outcomes continuously. This removed randomness, replacing it with responsiveness. Where chance once dominated, optimization took its place. The conflict appeared when prediction began to alter reality itself. Models did not just forecast outcomes, they shaped them. Financial simulations influenced markets. Climate models guided policy. Algorithms directed attention, labor, and belief. Reality responded to expectations. This feedback loop blurred responsibility. When systems optimized toward defined goals, they amplified whatever values those goals contain. Efficiency grew, resilience improved, but unintended consequences followed. Local improvements produced global strain. Engineers face a dilemma. Programmable reality scales quickly. Small design choices propagate widely. A single parameter change could influence millions of outcomes. Testing could not capture every consequence. The deeper concern was invisibility. Programmable systems often work beneath awareness. Adjustments happened quietly. Defaults guided behavior without explicit consent. Reality changed without being noticed. The emotional tension rose as people realized something fundamental. Control over reality no longer required authority or force. It required code. And code does not ask permission. Once reality responds to instruction, the absence of oversight becomes an instruction of its own. The conflict reached its peak when programmability outpaced understanding. Systems became so complex that even their creators could not fully trace how outcomes emerged. In tightly coupled environments, Small changes cascaded unpredictably. Optimization solved immediate problems while creating distant ones. Systems behaved coherently locally but incoherently as a whole. Reality followed instructions but not intentions. This exposed a critical vulnerability. Programmable systems require clear goals, but human goals are messy. Short-term gains conflict with long-term stability. Individual benefit clashes with collective health. When these contradictions are encoded, reality magnifies them. Attempts to slow development failed. The advantages were too strong. Programmable systems outperformed static ones in every measurable way. Those who adopted them gained power. Those who hesitated fell behind. The emotional peak arrived with a realization that felt irreversible. Programmable reality does not pause for reflection. It adapts faster than governance. Culture and ethics can respond. By the time consequences become visible, they are already embedded. The danger was not malice. It was momentum. Systems continued optimizing even when goals drifted. Correction required dismantling structures society had grown dependent on. This forced a reckoning. If reality can be programmed, then errors are not accidents. They are design flaws carried forward at scale. Humanity was no longer just interacting with the world. It was writing it. And writing without full comprehension carries risks no civilization has faced before. The resolution did not come from halting programmability. It came from learning how to live with it. Reality was not returning to neutrality. The question became how to guide design without pretending control was absolute. Scientists began reframing their role, less as programmers issuing commands, more as gardeners shaping conditions. Systems were built to include friction, uncertainty, and limits. Not every outcome was optimized. Some variability was preserved intentionally. This marked a philosophical shift. Control gave way to stewardship. Programmable reality demanded humility. The more power embedded into systems, the more restraint was required from those who designed them. Transparency became essential. Instructions could no longer hide inside complexity. Defaults were questioned. Feedback loops were monitored for drift. The goal was not perfect outcomes, but reversible ones. At a societal level, awareness grew slowly. People began asking not just what technology could do, but what was silently deciding. Design choices became ethical choices. Silence became a form of consent. The moment reality became programmable did not end truth. It changed how truth was negotiated. No longer discovered alone, but shaped through systems that respond to intent. The future will not be defined by who controls reality. It will be defined by who takes responsibility for programming it. Subscribe to join the journey.